sitting here in some kind of theater with Alex Evans from Media Molecule, and I guess we're going to talk a little bit about a game that I thought didn't need a sequel, but it gets one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting kind of sequel because we had a ton of features, and by a ton I mean really loads of features, and we wanted to release them in a big bang all at once, because when you drip feed you have to kind of release each feature individually. So a sequel on a Blu-ray is the perfect opportunity to take like 20, 30 new features and put them all together at once. But then we throw in backward compatibility as well, which is pretty unheard of in a sequel. Basically everything you own from Little Big Planet 1 and all of the levels you've created, there's no way we were going to cut those off. I mean, people have invested weeks of time building this stuff. So what's cool is you can bring it into Little Big Planet, all those levels are there on the day one, and they're kind of digitally remastered. We've redone the engine for our own benefit, but it means that all of your levels get that overhaul as well.
Yeah, because in terms of like working hours, the amount you put into the game and the amount players put into the game, it's kind of big discrepancy there.
I mean, we wouldn't take that away from them, and I think also it gives us a good discipline, because you start with the features of LBP1 and they're the familiarity. So, but with LBP2 and the new features, it actually makes it easier. So recently we got some creators into the office, and we asked them, we showed them a demo of the game and the new features, and then we just said, you have 24 hours, go and make stuff. And a few of the guys were a bit nervous because they're not normally super technical, and they were worried that LBP2 is making it more complex, all these new features to learn. But what's funny was at the end of it they said, actually we can do in 24 hours what took us a week beforehand. So what's cool in LBP2 is we're hoping, and I think it'll work, that there's such a broader range of games that can be made that if you're a player, you'll boot the game and you'll find all these cool stuff, ranging from top-down games to like racers to shooters to whatever you like. So it's more than just platforming. But at the same time, the creators are going to boot it up and be like, yeah, it's familiar, but hey, that thing that used to take me 10 minutes, I can just do in 10 seconds.
Because people did some amazing stuff that I guess you can imagine that I could do ever.
I mean, no idea. I mean, when you start making a game like Little Big Planet, it was sort of unknown territory. I mean, creative gaming, as we call it, Media Molecule, has been around for years in some other form, but Little Big Planet we thought was a risk. Will people actually make some cool stuff with this? And absolutely they did. I mean, you know, the Little Big Calculator is one of my favourites. And actually, if you look at the Sakis, which are sort of awards on littlebigplanet.com, some of the visual direction and the creativity of it, and so we really felt able with Little Big Planet 2 to take risks back. It's like, thank you, community. So now we're going to give you such insanely powerful tools that we trust you to just go crazy. And that's why it's such a hard game to demo for us now, because we don't actually know what you're going to build with it. The direct control seat is, and when you first see it, a few people just kind of go, oh wow. When you first realise the power of it, it's like building blocks, and you go, I really could do any game that involves a 6-axis and a TV and a PlayStation 3. I mean, it's that crazy. You can even do like 3D views now. People have built 3D shooters. We've got over-the-shoulder racing games. Like, it's terrifying, actually. You know,
you're putting a lot of developers out of a job.
Yeah, I mean, we've hired 4 people from the community.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we are actually hiring people on the basis of what they built in Little Big Planet, including one guy, Johnny, and he you know, he was a builder. He was working for his dad, and the community just kept emailing us going, have you seen this guy's levels? They're amazing. He was building cutscenes, like movies in Little Big Planet 1, which is not easy. In the new game, you can record voice acting, you can animate your sackbots, which are the new non-player characters. But this guy, we PSN messaged him, and he didn't believe us. We said, do you want a job? And he said, no, he ignored the message. And eventually people in the community are like, no, it really is Media Molecule sending you those PSN messages. So he came in for a job, and yeah, I mean, it's incredible what the community have done. That's
like the perfect way of finding a new talent, though, because you know that he knows all the tools, he knows how to do things that you don't even know, and all of a sudden you got new, you know, great asset.
New talent. I mean, the funny thing is the story mode, which you get with the game in LBP2, is a new story mode, epic sort of progression through 50 levels or so. The cool part is we're adding like cinematic sections and non-player characters, as I said, and so Johnny was the perfect guy for it, because he'd been building these awesome sequences in LBP1, and we said, well, he's the person who's really shaped the tools. You know, when you started, he had LBP1, and as we've been evolving the tools, the funny thing is you guys are going to get them when they're finished. The poor guys at Media Molecule have to use them when they're all buggy and messy and crashing and all that stuff. So we can't wait to see you know, there's questions in games. How should you do cutscenes? Should they be long stories? Some people like the Metal Gear Solid style, other people like the sort of Half-Life style. There's different ways to tell stories. And now you guys, the community, can choose what you want. You can do interactive stories, you can do pre-made cutscenes, whatever you like.
Mm.
Yeah.
Seems like Little Big Planet started something of a revolution, and you know, a lot of other games are looking to add some of the elements, but really there's not been a game that has been so fully customizable and sort of player driven. Do you think that you know, is this something that the whole industry needs to take, or do you think that there's room for everything?
I don't think anyone needs to do anything. I think there's, as you say, there's a broad, I call it a broad church. There's lots of ways you could do user-generated content, and Mod Nation Racer has taken a different approach, and I love the sort of, I've always loved karting games anyway. I'm a kind of quick hit kind of gamer. I tend to go for those kind of games, and so what they've done is they've really lowered the barrier to entry. They've really made it easy to create. With Little Big Planet 2, we're focusing on breadth. The one-word summary of Little Big Planet 2 is more power to the users, which simultaneously makes it easier for people to create, but at the same time the top end can just go wild. So I don't think the industry needs to do that, but what I love is we've really shown that there's an untapped creativity, that there are people out there, even people who don't consider themselves creative, who actually discover that they have something to bring. They have game design in them. Sometimes gamers can be the best game designers, and I guess that's a message which can go through all genres, whether it's something pure like Little Big Planet, which is very into UGC, but it could percolate all the way into, you know, the biggest franchises, and I really hope it does. It'd be cool.
Thank you very much
That's
for your time.
a pleasure. That's great. Have a good E3.